AP Statistics is all about collecting, organizing, and analyzing data. And one way to do that is with box plots. You're probably going to see a box plot question or two on your AP exam, so really being able to master them will help you out in the end. So let's take a look at box plots and see a question that you might see on the AP exam. So box plots are a 5-number summary of a data set, and they each show all the same things. So it's split up into 4 sections, or quarters, with 25% of the data within each section. And each box plot shows the minimum value, quartile 1 value, the median value, quartile 3 value, and the maximum value. And each of the 4 sections of the box plot contain about 25% of the data values within the set. So now let's work through a question that you might see on your AP Statistics exam. A researcher measured the diameters of prairie dog hills in inches at a large colony. The data is summarized in the box plot below. Based on the box plot, which of the following statements must be true? So first, let's identify the 5 values that all box plots show. In this case, the minimum is at about 35. Quartile 1, or the lower quartile, is at about 65. The median is at about, it's in between 85 and 90, so about 87. Quartile 3 is at about 95, and the maximum is at about 105. So now let's use these values to analyze each of the choices. Choice A, the number of hills with a diameter between 65 and 95 inches is the same as the number of hills with a diameter of at most 65 inches. So let's take a look at this. So we can see that between 65 and 95, there are 2 sections of the box plot. So there's about 25% of the data values between 65 and 87, and about 25% of the data values between 87 and 95. So that means about 50% of all the data values fall between 65 and 95. On the other hand, there's only about 25% of the data values that fall below 65. So that means that choice A is incorrect. Choice B says the number of hills with a diameter of at most 65 inches is greater than the number of hills with a diameter of at least 95 inches. So we've already identified that 25% of the hills have a diameter of at most 65 inches, and we can see that about 25% of the hills have a diameter greater than 95. So they're equal, and choice B is incorrect. Choice C, the difference between the median and the upper quartile for the diameter of the hills is less than 10. So let's take a look at that. So the median is between 85 and 90, and the third quartile is at 95. So that's less than 10. So choice C is the correct answer. So we found our right answer, but let's go ahead and look why D and E are incorrect. Choice D says the interquartile range of the diameters is 70. So the interquartile range is the third quartile minus the first quartile. In this case, quartile 3 is 95 and quartile 1 is 65, which means that the interquartile range is 30, which makes D incorrect. And choice E is the range of the diameters is greater than 100. So let's take a look at the range. The range of a data set is equal to the maximum minus the minimum, which in this case is 105 minus 35. And that equals 70, which makes E incorrect. I hope this box plot practice question has been helpful. Keep an eye out for more AP Statistics videos like this one. And let us know in the comments below what concepts you hope to see us cover.